Hey everyone, good morning, and how are you? And welcome to Morning Tea with me, Tracy V. Allen, host of Morning Tea. And today I have a special guest with me. I have Shanice Newton with us today, and we're going to be talking about transformation because she has a whole story of transforming her life and becoming the person you see today. And that's what we're going to be talking about because I believe I'm a firm believer in second chances and second chance programs, and she is an exemplary example of what you can do when you want to change your life. Developing a business, developing just a holistic person that you can look in the mirror and say, I'm proud of, right?
Yes, yes.
So please go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience.
Well, good morning, family and friends. Shanice Newton. Newton is my married title name. I'm actually Shanice Hendricks. Most people know me as Niece as well, which is a nickname. I was born in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The last out of 13 kids. The last baby, last girl out of 13. Both parents passed away, which that was hard. 9 months apart. I'm a mother of two kids. I have my own business that's called Majow's product. You can find it on Facebook as well. A wife and a minister as well. And with the minister part, I'm smiling because with my past and my background and the things that I've been through in life, whoever thought I would have been a minister, the aggressive person that I was, whoever thought I would have been that minister. But there's a lot about me as well, from being that aggressive person, from being that person that everybody say you can't do this, you would never be this, you would never add up to this, and just me, the self-determination. I was a high school dropout. I went back and I finished. I'm enrolled in college as well, studying psychology as well. So
But let's start from the beginning. Let's start.
yes.
Okay. So you were born in St. Croix, to be specific, U.S. Virgin Islands, and you grew
Yes.
up in the projects. You grew up in Safarali, or what we like to call Ford close to.
Yeah, I grew up in, well, I grew up in a private home, and then we end up, Wemsley is where we started. Then I went to a private home and we rented a private home. Then we end up in Safarili, then Frisenburg, then Harrigan, then back to Safarili. So
Wow.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
So some of the names that she's calling are names of projects. So
yes,
Safarali, Harrigan, and Friesenberg are all projects.
yes.
So you had a stint. That's a lot of different projects in a lot of different areas of the island, right?
Hmm.
So you met quite a bit of people from,
Yes.
diverse, I guess, cliques or gangs or whatever, was going on in each individual project because every project is different.
It's different. Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Yes, it
So
is.
tell us what it was like growing up in these different projects and how that shaped who you were before
Well,
the person we see today.
I was always the type of person that kept to myself. I didn't really keep friends. And I was like the nerdy type,
Mhm.
especially in junior high. I was on an honor roll. Elementary, junior high is when I started to see myself and like how our parents would say, smell yourself,
Yeah.
kind of. So I was always fast at the mouth. Like if you say something, I always had a snap back answer. So that was like kind of me finding myself toward my teenage years and being a teenager. Sometimes our parents talk to us and they go through one and come through the next, and we think what we're doing is right.
Mhm.
But the people that I consider friends that I had around me, I can't say there was bad influence because there were always people in the books. Um, as far I could remember a lot in Frisenburg, being raised in Frisenburg. I did my junior high living in Frisenburg, and
So John H. Woodson.
yes, I went to John H.
I
Woodson.
used to teach at
Yes,
John H.
yes. So I graduated from there in 95,
Mhm.
to go to the 10th grade. Our class was the last one for the ninth grade in junior high.
Mhm.
Um, so it was different for me because I was the inside person. Never really come out. My mom never really let me out the house
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And then it's like the family is so big because it's like between
You always had playmates.
Yes. So and then like my dad owned that property right next to Paquito's restaurant.
Mhm.
So it's like you want to play, we go there to play, especially on weekends and Fridays. So it wasn't really a need for any of the family members to really have that much friends because it was, like 16 grandkids. So it was I was somebody else to play with. So
Right.
that was basically coming up to the adulthood till I went high school. We had lived in Safarili at that time. So it was totally a total different environment. To me, the folks, some of the folks that had lived there was more outspoken, more rowdy.
Uh-huh.
So it was kind of different, but still my mom, even I was older, 15, 16, still wouldn't let me outside. So is what can I do besides read a book? So I read a lot of books.
Okay.
I read a lot of books.
So I know that you told me you were a fighter. So let's talk about your fighting past and why you ended up dropping out of high school.
Well, I dropped out of high school because I was in the 12th grade. I was actually in my last year of school. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And there was a counselor from Woodson that ended up to Complex. And at the time, my last name in junior high was Ramos. I had a lot of name change. My dad didn't give me his last name until my 8th grade year in junior high.
Okay.
So I was Ramos at the time. So that followed. And when my mom and my sister took it to the Department of Education, that counselor gave 17 students credits from other students. So they could have graduated that year out of high school. So this was like 96, 97, because I was supposed to be in the class of 98. So I decided to drop out. My mom is like, they wanted me to do an extra year with just 2 classes I needed for 12th grade, 2 classes and my elective, which was at the time nursing. My mom like stay, and me being stubborn, me being the person that I was, is like, no, I do not a year, da 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 da, and drop out. But I went back and I finished. I did finish. Yes.
All right. So let's talk about the fighting.
Well, I was the type of person, like, you couldn't tell me anything, you couldn't point. So the minute you point or you said something that I just didn't like you saying, I would swing first. I just didn't care.
Questions later.
Yes, and then pay the consequences, because I did, and we learn from our mistakes and our bad choices that we make. Because the fighting, I got arrested a couple times, so I was just an aggressive person. I didn't care. We could have been boyfriend and girlfriend. You could have been my brother. I didn't. The only person that I didn't look to fight was my mom, because I had that respect for her and seeing her struggle raising me as a single parent. I always had that respect for my mom. She was also diabetic, but the fighting, Tracy, and it's like the way we was raised. If you hit one of the family member, everybody got to fight. Everybody gonna get beat. So it was like either me fighting to defend a family member, or I just fighting. But for me to go out and look trouble, kind of, yeah, but no. If you point and I didn't like it, yeah, that's like something. It was something negative for me. So I would swing first. I would just.
All right. So what was your turning point?
Having my first daughter.
Okay.
I was in an abusive relationship. When I dropped out of high school, I end up in an abusive relationship. That lasted a year, probably a year, a little over a year. My mom sent me away. I came back and ended up with the same person.
Okay.
And with that being said, it got to the point that I had enough, but I was being stuck at that point when I said, this is it. I can't do this anymore. This is not me. And when I tried having kids and they told me I couldn't have kids, and then I knew my daughter's father for over 10 years, and one thing lead to the next. And I had my first daughter, and becoming a mom, I said it was time for me to change even the lifestyle I was living, because like I said, I'm an open book. I have lived this lifestyle of being with females as well for over 10 years. And
Okay.
at that time, I was in that type of relationship and it wasn't going well.
Mhm.
And end up getting arrested as well during the transitioning out of that relationship.
Okay.
And that night in jail, I like, this is it. I'll
Mhm.
never allow myself or anyone get me to the point of being angry that would take me away from my child. And that was my eye opener there. Like, nobody gonna raise my child like how I would raise my child. Nobody would teach my child the things that
Right.
I would want her to learn. And then she's a little girl. So
Mhm.
it's like that was my turning point. Like, Shanice, it's time to change. And
How old was your daughter at that point in time?
she was September, October. She was about a month to 2 months.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so a newborn.
Okay.
Yeah, a newborn.
Yeah. Okay. So then you made the change, and what you decided to make the change, but how did the change unfold? Because sometimes we make decisions to make changes and we slip, we fall back, and it's a tough road to get to where we want to go. So what was the process?
It was a hard process because there was a lot that me, even though being a mom, I was struggling with, like me being raped as a child,
Mhm.
um, being in an abusive relationship, being in love, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out because I've seen that person as a person I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, and now having a child, thinking that we would have raised this child together, that didn't work out. So with that being said, my change for me to make that full transition, I
Mhm.
had to move. I had to leave the island. That's one of the reasons why I left home, because I just couldn't deal with the heartbreak. I moved to Texas where I reside now.
Mhm.
Um, it's okay because I'm still here. It's
Okay.
okay. So it
And
was,
you found love there.
huh?
You found love in Texas.
Yeah, my husband,
Right. So
my
it worked
husband.
out, right? So you met your
Yeah.
husband, and tell us about that.
Oh, marriage is rough.
Yes.
I, I,
Well, I've never
they,
been married, but I've heard.
yeah, there's a saying that I've heard people up here in America say that your first 5 years of your marriage is rough.
Mhm.
And they ain't lie. He's my first husband, but I'm his third wife.
Okay.
Um, so he's been on the battlefield before down this lane. So for me, it was all new. And at first, even though I was married, to me it's like I was still that single life person. And we went through our trials and tribulations, and let me tell you, it was rough. Like 8 months down in our marriage, we
Mhm.
went through hell. We went through hell, and I like from ever since that day, I've been asking my husband for a divorce. I want a divorce. I don't want to do this no more. This is not what I signed up for. I'm not just having it. I've been through this too much times. For me, it was like same act, different cast. That's how I saw it, and it's like I'm not having it. I don't. And he refused
Mhm.
to divorce me. He refused. He's like, I'm not giving you a divorce. And I stuck it out. And as of this day, it's a lot better. And I think it's because we got married. I had the baby. And then a couple months after, he got in a car accident, which he has 135 pieces of hardware in him
Ooh.
from his waist down. So I stopped work because I could have go back to work 2 months after I had the baby, but being that he got in an accident, I stopped work. I've been home. July would be 4 years if I don't go back out to work.
Mhm.
Um, would be 4 years since I'm home. But I've been the wife, been the mom. I'm ready to go back out to work. So it's just a waiting process with that to go back to
Okay.
to the job. Working for the state. But marriage ain't easy. If
Mhm.
anybody said marriage easy, it's a lie. It's you have to put in. My father always said, when you're in a relationship, if you give 10%, that's all you're gonna get. My advice to anybody out there that's newlyweds, I mean, if you want it to work, you have to put that percentage in. You know, it's not a one-way road.
The percentage that you want.
Yes.
If you want 50%,
that you want back,
25%.
that you want back. If
Right.
you put in 10, you're gonna get back 10.
Right.
And if you really love and care for that person, don't give up. Don't give up. Even though I was on that verge, my husband didn't give up on me, and I'm like, okay, he ain't giving up, so I have to do my part. And it'll be 5 years in October. 5 years. Yeah.
So why did you decide to go into ministry? Because both you and your husband are ministers. Why and how did you decide to go into that?
He's a pastor. I'm a minister. When we met, we did a lot of talking. I love to talk. So this was the radio station, the ministry, everything is just his dedication to God and his love that he has for God. And me raising up in church, lost my way, as we all do. And through him, I found my way back. And it's like, I was the background of the radio station, like all the paperwork and stuff I would do. And it's like, I had 6 Bibles, free to read the Bible, just free to hear what God had to say to me. And I had a next minister talk to me, and he break it down to me, and I still didn't pick up the Bible. Then one day I just decided to pick up and start reading. And I like, oh, okay, I get it. And went ahead and got ordained as a minister, and basically following in my husband's footsteps. Following in his footsteps, and I enjoyed. I enjoyed. So
you guys have a ministry without borders, basically.
Without walls. We're a ministry without walls.
Right. So, and you guys also have a radio station. So tell us about that. Why did you choose to do ministry without walls, and how did the radio station come about?
The radio station, my husband is the psalmist voice, and he's known as the psalmist voice because he used to sing. So that was his name. So that's how TPV, the psalmist voice, came about. And like I said, the radio station was an idea, and then a friend of his gave him an opportunity on his radio station, which is UITA radio. We were the only gospel on Sunday, only gospel on the platform, period. And from there, he had the opportunity to work with KRBGN or something. It's in Harker Heights here. And that's actually a radio station. And from there, he been with them 8 months, and he like, I could do this on my own. And I like, whatever you decide to do, I have your back. And that's how the birth of the radio station came about. And being that he was already preaching before he got ordained, he went ahead and got ordained as a pastor, and then ministries far right behind of the radio station, because we have the radio station is separate from the ministries. Because with the ministries, we have charities and stuff, like where we have the community give us clothes, donate clothes, and we donate it back out. We visit the senior homes. We have Shine a Light, which is another charity for kids. That we do different things and raise different money for them as well. So those are some of the things that we do with the ministry as well.
Okay. All right, cool. And I've been on your husband's radio station.
Yes.
I was a guest, about 3 weeks ago? So about 3 weeks ago. It was a really good interview. He asked some very poignant questions. It was nice. But you do have your own business as well. And it is a skin and hair care product line. Tell us how that came about. Well, let's start with the name of the company.
It's I don't know if they could see it, but I don't know where my camera is. It's called Majow's Products. And the name Majow is actually my dad's nickname. Is my dad's nickname. So everybody know my dad as Majow. They know us as his kids as the Majows as well. So it's like, for me, and the hibiscus flower is a flower that I like. So I was like, what can I do with our name? What can I do with our name? I mean, Hendrix, we already have Hendrix Honda home. Now, Majow, what can I do with a name to carry on? Basically, like my father's legacy. And the product line came about with my baby. She was a micro preemie. She was 14 ounces at birth. When she came home, she had eczema on her back, on her lower back. So I started doing research, like what natural stuff could help eczema and stuff like that. And I came about with the afterbath oil. And my afterbath oil actually has in cinnamon. And what a lot of people don't know is that cinnamon exfoliates, and it also helps with mild cases of eczema. So that came about, and then I started with my hair moisturizer. I have a face mask. On my Facebook page, there's a young lady that I showed to everybody because she used the face mask, and with 3 months, it removes dark spot, blemishes in your face, and it tones out your face to be even. And it's basically
hyperpigmentation as well.
Yes, it's basically natural. I use the natural aloe vera plant, and I scrape it, and I make the face mask myself. So that's how the product line handmade with natural ingredients. That's what my product.
How did you know that these ingredients work for this particular thing? Like when you were making the first product, which is the afterbath oil for your daughter, like how did you just know that cinnamon was the magic ingredient that you needed to put in there? Maybe
2 years of 2 years of research, searching, and just not trying to see like, what can I do? What can I do? And it's made with coconut. We all know that coconut is good for the skin.
Right.
So, and all my products have in vitamin E oil. I use 1000 IU because we all know vitamin E oil is good for the skin, good for the hair. So all my products have in vitamin E oil in it. And it's just basically 2 years of research, playing around with different products, see if it works together. And it's not only that, like when you make it certain products, you have to make sure that it's compatible, like the hair moisturizer. When you add the ingredients, you have to make sure that it holds and it stays firm like how it's supposed to. And it was just playing around with different ingredients, getting different things, and okay, let me try this, let me try that. Okay, well, this didn't work. Let me take this out and add this. If that didn't work, then it's something else. So it was 2 years in the making. It was 2 years.
You're an amateur chemist.
Yes. I like science. I like science. So,
so you're in the kitchen trying little things and seeing what works. And
yes.
So how are you testing your products?
How I've been testing my products? Family members and associates that I have up here. When I first started, I was giving out my products them free.
Okay. I think a lot of people start that way, where they just like, oh, try this, try, and then somebody comes back and says, oh, that was great.
Great.
Yes.
I kept a book with their name and number.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and I would give them like 2 to 3 weeks. And I would call them and say, how does the product work? Well, it worked, but this is what happened. And I took note what happened to that person. Like, well, if they had a certain outbreak, whatever, and then I found out, are you allergic to anything? So I could have revamped my product, because I have one for sensitive skin as well, a face mask that is for sensitive skin. And then I just went ahead and made the whole product line for sensitive skin. And like I said, basically everything is natural, but people think when things are natural, you can use it on sensitive skin. No, you can't. Not because it says that it's natural, that means that you could use it on sensitive skin.
That person might have allergies.
Yes.
Something that's in that natural product.
Yep.
I have a lot of allergies, so I have to be very careful about what I put on my skin. And it's one of those things I'm allergic to.
Yeah, and especially like if you're using plant-based ingredients, because they have their own natural chemicals in it. You got to see if they are allergic to this, if they're allergic to that. They might be allergic to the plant, but it might be the chemical in the plant that they are allergic to. So then it's like, how can I, like my face mask? My niece is allergic to aloe vera, so she can't use it. So I'm looking forward to making one with pomegranate.
Oh.
Yes. So there's something else that she wants to use it, but she can't because of the aloe vera.
The aloe vera.
With the aloe vera helps tighten your skin. That's something else that aloe vera does. It helps cleanses pores and it tightens your skin. So if you take the raw aloe vera, you rub it rub it on your skin and you wait at least 5 minutes, it tightens your skin and it closes the pores as well. So that's something else
Yeah, I
people
didn't
do.
know that, but I'm allergic to aloe vera too.
Yes.
Yeah, I found that out when I was a kid, and we wanted, back then you try to wash your hair with aloe vera because it's good for your hair as well. And then my whole face would break out. So I'm
Yes.
like, oh,
Yes.
no aloe vera. And then cinnamon, same thing. I break out in a rash and I start itching. So yeah, knowing those things and being able to ask that question is
Yes.
a good thing.
I tell people what my products have in,
Mhm.
and if they look in the back of it, it has the ingredients in it. So they have the directions and the ingredients to the back. So they could know what's in my products. I just made a hot oil treatment, but it's in a cream form.
Oh, okay.
I've I've been messing with it and I got it right because I don't want it where it's a hot oil treatment. You just put it in your hair. I want it to be where you put it in your hair. The oil treats your hair, but it also moisturizes your hair as well. Although I already have a hair moisturizer, I wanted to do something different. So it's completely different from my hair moisturizer. But this one, you warm it up 30 seconds in the microwave. You put it in the same way you would do a hot oil treatment, and leave it in for half an hour. It's not to irritate your scalp or anything like that. And you wash it out. After you wash your hair, you wash it out, and that's it. You don't have to add any oils or anything to your scalp and your hair when you're finished with it.
Okay.
So that's the great thing about it. I have a picture on my page as well. I'm gonna put it on my Majow's product page because I did take out my locks, and I had in locks, and I detoxed my locks, and I have a dandruff problem, so it was all in my locks, and there was no way of getting it out. So I decided to sell my locks. So the picture that is on my page that I'm gonna put on my product page is actually I wash my hair, I put in the hot oil treatment, and I blow dry it out. I didn't have to put anything else to my hair while I blow dry it, and I flat iron it, and my hair is like on my shoulder.
Okay.
Yes. So.
Yeah, I did see. Well, your picture, I think I put up with you guys. You have a big fro.
Yeah, this is still natural. This is actually from using the hot oil treatment and blow drying my hair. It looks like I have a perm, but there's no chemical in my hair.
Okay, so you developed the product. You handed it out to friends and family members to kind of do a beta test. They loved it or they didn't like it, you tweaked it. So how were you able to really grow the product line? Like, how are you selling it? Did you go to vending events? How are you growing the product line? And where do you see it going in the future? And how long do you think you're going to be able to get there?
Okay, I'm serious about my money. So anybody back home that knows Shanice is a hustler. They know me as a hustler. When I had stopped work, I sell food to make ends meet.
Oh, really?
So, yes. So
that's a good thing, though. I respect people who refuse to be poor, who refuse to not be able to feed themselves and house themselves. I respect that hustle 100%.
About my money. I had a customer. I met her at the bank and I told her, hey, I have a sample for you to try in your hair. She had in locks as well. And she said, I have in locks. Can the hair because I was giving her the hair moisturizer. And she said, can it work in my locks? I said, yes, it can. And she said, well, I'm not going to take a sample. What else do you have? And she bought the scalp oil, the hair moisturizer. And within 2 weeks, she was calling me back. So I said, well, you could come and pick it up at my house or I could deliver it to you. So she came and we sat down, we talked. And I like, well, I want my business to grow. And she's like, well, what are you looking at on different things as far as your business growing? And I told her, she said, well, write me a business plan. That's what she said. Get me a business plan. And I said, okay, fine. Within 2 days, Tracy, within 2 days, I had my business plan. When I tell you, I serious about my money. I had my business plan. I handed it to her, and she said, "In that business plan, write what amount you're looking for."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Okay." I did 5,000,
Mm-hmm.
and within 2 weeks, I had my 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
And she went from my customer to my investor to a partner
Mm-hmm.
and family and friends. I'll be honest, like with my business, I make 1,500 to 2,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much I make. I do different things, like my website is currently down, but I do hair set. I do a hair set. I do a face set. I do a body set and a foot care set. Because my business is Majow's products. We care for better you from basically head to toe. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
So not only that, I also offer people the opportunity. I do bundle packages, like for anyone that's interested in selling my products for themselves to make money. So
Mm-hmm.
I offer bundle packages as well, so they can do that. So
Oh,
it's not,
you growing a whole MLM over here.
yeah, yeah. I was never the greedy type and the selfish type.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could make $1, why somebody else can't make $1, even though it's my product?
Right.
Why should I rise by myself and not bring somebody else up with
With
me? You
right.
know, that was always me. And I offer people the opportunity to make their own business. I have a whole folder where I could actually go out and host a party. If somebody want me to come up and host a party, and I tell them about the skin.
Mm-hmm.
I tell them about my products, my skin, how to look for the T-zone, how to take care of the skin, raccoon eyes, all of that. So I could give a whole presentation not only on my products, but also of the skin on the face as well, so they could better take care of themselves. Honestly, if it's something that I don't know, I recommend them to a doctor. I had this one lady, she was doing chemicals on the doctor, and I said, I'll be honest with you, because I don't know the chemicals that you're using. I would not advise you to use my products until you're off your medication, what the doctor give you for your face, at least 2 to 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And she did that, use it, and her face clear up. And she like, I was spending 100 and change on what the doctor was giving me.
Mm-hmm.
Your face mask is only $7 to $8, and it worked better. My moisturizer is $2, so $9 she was paying for the set.
Mm-hmm.
It worked better than what the doctor. And up to now, she's still a customer.
Okay, great,
She's still a customer. So
great. So, I really like that. Like the way that you grew your business. I think it's just fantastic. Um, so if people want to get in contact with you, they can email you here at Shanice Hendricks 976@gmail.com. They can also find you on Facebook at Shanice Newton. And what is the page for your product line?
it's Majow's products on Facebook as well. It's MAJOWS products on Facebook. They could leave a message there too, because I have customers, being on my website is down. I have customers that is actually leaving inboxes there for me, because I do ship. I ship. I have customers in Georgia. I have customers in Houston, Dallas, Atlanta. I have customers back home as well. And I have a company actually interested in my products. This lady that has this company in Belgium,
Okay.
that she's interested in my products. So we are back and forth on that to see, but it's kind of like, because she's where she at. So, but she's interested in getting my products into her store. So I have people different places, and I do mail. I do ship.
Where do you see the company growing, or what would you like for your company in the next 3 to 5 years?
To being Walmart, CVS, Walgreens. I want to see my family name out there. You know, I just don't want people in home know, well, that's the Majow them, their father was Majow. I wanted to say, wow, if even if it's me who started this product line, is me representing the family as a whole. I'm not leaving my brothers, my sisters, my niece, them behind. We are a family, and Majows represent us as a family. So if I could get to that point where I could see it in stores,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be
You'll be
I'll be
happy.
good. Yeah, I'm waiting for the people and for Fish Tank to get back to me, because I did Shark Tank. I said Fish Tank. Shark, Shark Tank. I did reach out and I typed whatever they wanted me to type. So it's just a waiting process. So hopefully I do get on, and I could get a bigger investor that could help me push it, and do a little better marketing and stuff, because I do hand out flyers. My flyers are basically everything that you would have seen on the website, and the prices in the back. So there's nothing hidden.
Mhm.
There's nothing hidden. I There's nothing hidden. Don't believe in I don't like secrets, so I'm not gonna keep secrets away from my customers. So
Okay.
that's basically it. I mean,
So, what would be three things that you would leave our audience with about transformation in their lives, their business, just holistically?
everybody and anybody could change, but that change begins with you. You have to want that change. It don't matter if Paul, Mary, and Sue say you need to change your attitude, you need to change your ways. You have to want that change. Change is good. Don't give up. Even when people tell you that you can't do it, that should give you that determination that, you know what, I could do it.
Mhm.
Don't be afraid to try anything new. If you fail, get back up. 7 times fall,
Mhm.
7 times rise,
Mhm.
rise higher than where you fall. So, one life to live, live and let live.
Mhm.
That's my live and let live.
Mhm.
When you live for you, it don't matter what people say, what people do, let them live. So live and let live. Just be you and be great at being you.
Okay. That's good words to leave with.
Yes.
So, Shanice, thank you for being a part of Morning Tea this morning. I really appreciate it. I think you were a source of inspiration for a
Thank
lot of
you.
people this morning. And hopefully, someone who's listening takes something away from all that you said, and it can really inspire them to enact change in their own lives.
Yes.
And you are an inspiration. I mean, you have
Thank
come
you.
a long way. Whole 360 transformation, and
No, 180. 180. We don't do 160,
still
because
working.
360 is where you start, you're gonna end up. So we're
Okay,
180,
180.
190. Yes, yes.
180. Okay, so I wish you nothing but the best, and thanks again for being a guest this morning and inspiring.
No problem. And if you do have the time today, Tracy, tune in. I'm live today on TPV Radio Network on the Grub. We're
Okay,
doing a Grub today, so you could tune in.
okay, all right. All
Okay,
right,
thank
thank
you.
you. Have a
Okay,
great day, everyone, and thank you for joining me for
same.
tea. And I'll see you guys
Bye,
tomorrow.
family and friends.
Bye.